Hi folks. So I'm just going to go over some tips for the final exam. I've already given you an outline in a news item a couple days ago, maybe 2 days ago now. So this is just going to be a little bit more of a visual for you. Okay. So keep in mind your exam is Friday, July 26th at Sherwood Secondary School, and it's going to be from 9 a.m. until 11 a.m. Okay, so you'll have 2 hours. If you have an IEP that allows you extra time or a scribe or a computer or something, you need to let me know that today because it's the last day I get to submit that to administration. Okay. So I would arrive at 1:45. Make sure you bring your student ID with you. I need to know. I don't know. I know a couple of you from my school, but I don't know any of you from the other schools. So I need to know. I need to match your face, and I need to know that the right person's writing the exam. Okay, so make sure you bring that photo ID, okay? So get that out now, put it in your backpack, put it in your wallet, whatever you do, okay? So your exam is 2 hours. You will not, you honestly will not need more time than that. I'm positive. You don't write an essay on this exam, so I would be very surprised. Most students last year left around the hour and a half mark. Some left before, okay? But I don't think you will need more time for sure. So this is kind of what it looks like. Now this is an old exam. You can see that's 2016. It's changed a little bit from, because this is based on an older ministry course and you are the second class to have gone through the new ministry course. So it looks it's going to be a little bit different content, but it's going to look the same, okay? So make sure you do not show me your cell phone, bring your cell phone, use your cell phone, do anything with your cell phone. If I see your cell phone out during the exam, I'm going to confiscate it and your exam, and you will get a 0 on that. Your exam is worth 30% of your mark, okay? So you might be heading into this exam with a fabulous mark, but you still have 30% of this exam to show me, okay, that what you've been doing through the course is what you can do in this final exam. So you don't want to take any chances and lose any of those marks. So if you have an addiction to your phone and you know you can't control yourself, then maybe you leave your phone at home, okay? So make sure that's out of the way. We will supply the article that they're going to read. We will supply the test paper. We will supply line paper, but you need to bring a couple writing utensils, okay? So your writing utensils and your student ID. So you're going to arrive at Sherwood by 8:45 on Friday, July 26th, and you're going to sit down and you're going to get a paper that looks sort of like this. You can see that the title of this one is Justin Trudeau's victory speech. In the old course, there was a real focus on world leaders and their speeches. Okay, so yours isn't going to be that. Yours is going to be an essay, a sight essay, meaning that it'll be sight unseen, and you're going to have to read through it and analyze it for the questions that you're going to see. So what I would do with this is once I get the essay, I would certainly read through it once and I would annotate it just for understanding. I would look at the questions that have been asked of me and I would go back and I would try to annotate it and find those literary devices, find those stylistic techniques, find the examples that support the tone claim that you've made, whatever it is, okay? So that's going to be worth 20 marks. So really that translates to 20%, okay? So you're going to read through the essay. I think it's about, I just photocopied the other day. It's about 3.5 pages, maybe, not too lengthy, okay, about 3.5 pages long. And you're going to try and find evidence to support the questions. So you're going to have a series of questions, and they're going to look like this. Obviously, these won't be the questions. This is for the Justin Trudeau speech, but you're going to see this is how I set it up, is that I'll have the question and the focus of that question is going to be in bold. So that's what I'm looking for here. So in this case, the question asks you about tone. Use only one tone word and quote one sentence to support your claim, okay? So if a question is worth 3 marks, I want no more than 3 sentences, okay? So a rule of thumb would be if it's worth 2 marks, write 2 sentences. Okay, you need to be able to edit your work, so make sure that you do that. If it's worth 2 marks and you write a paragraph, I'm not going to sift through there and looking for the answer. You need to tell me what the answer is in 2 sentences, okay? So keep that in mind. So that's what the first section is going to look like, okay? So 20 marks. Cite passage, you're going to annotate it, make notes on it, digest it, okay? Then you're going to answer the questions, okay? There will be a paragraph question on there, so you're going to have to write something in a paragraph form. And keep in mind that you must be familiar with the authors in the course, okay? So think back to the first unit. It wasn't that long ago, really. This is so fast. Less than 3 weeks ago, as I'm sitting doing this today. Think of Dillard's, think of E.B. White's, think of, who else do we do? I always say her name wrong. How's the one about fake news? Is she about fake news? Oh, social media. That's what it is. The one about social media and not seeing representation of herself, yeah, in the media. Okay, that one. So think of any other authors. Even think of, Rick Mercer is one that you're going to come across. Now, he's not an author, but it certainly is a style. I can tell you right now, though, the essay that you're going to read is nothing like that. So, hey, but think about those authors and don't write down just some random names. Make sure you know what piece is theirs and what their name is. Okay, so you can identify that. So that's going to be the paragraph question for that. You're going to have to compare the author's writing in the essay that you're going to get with one of the writers that we focused on in this course. Okay, and then you're going to have some other questions worth it. I think the paragraph, I actually made it worth 8 marks and the questions are worth 12, but in total it's 20. So that's the first part, okay? Super manageable. There will be no surprises, okay? Nothing that you haven't looked at in the course. And if you haven't gone through the content, now would be the time. And keep in mind that when I'm determining your final grade, I'm going to be looking through how much time you spent on all the units because I can go in and I can retrieve all that data. I can see how many discussions you read. I can see how much time you spent on individual content. It's always gobsmackingly surprising with how little some people actually spend on the content part. So make sure you go in and you review that, okay? You have a lot of time between now and then. Just before I forget, before I move on to part B, so Unit 1 and Unit 2 drop boxes have never closed. They've always been open. I look at them regularly and I wait for people to upload work and nobody is. So those 2 are open. Unit 3 I have closed and I close that at the end because I have to control my marking as well, right? So I need to be prepared for this. So what I'm going to do is, and Unit 4s are closing daily, okay? So what I'm going to do is on Wednesday, July 24th, I'm going to open Unit 3 drop boxes and all of Unit 4 drop boxes and from like 12 noon till 11:59 p.m. Okay, and so I'm going to give you a 12-hour window then on Wednesday. So if you work, if you're out of town, whatever it is, you need to figure this out because I will make no allowances. No work will be accepted on Thursday. Okay, that is my day to mark everything and get everything ready. So when you go into that exam, you have all your information. You know what where all your marks are, what your grades are. Okay. So that is going to be your final opportunity. So if you missed submitting something for Unit 3, okay, that will be your opportunity on Wednesday, July 24th from 12 noon till 11:59 p.m., 12 hours, okay, and that's the last opportunity. And if you haven't watched this video between now and then, I don't know what to tell you. Okay, it's also in the news item as well. So make sure that if you are missing something that you do, because it's each of these assignments is worth about I think 3.5 or 3.4%. But if you miss 2, 3, 4 of those, it adds up, right? So make sure you get those in. Some marks are better than no marks. Okay. So that's just a reminder, and I'll remind you of that again. Okay, I have in the news item, and I'll remind you again tomorrow. Okay, so the next part is you're going to have to watch, I think I've already told you this, a TED Talk video, and it's going to be, I think it's about 10 or 11 minutes long, so you're going to have more than enough time. I'm going to post that video on Thursday, so Thursday is going to be the day when all your work is going to be submitted, and Thursday is going to be your study day, because then you're going to be free on Friday at 11 a.m. Okay, so my understanding is that Thursday you're going to be spending the time reviewing the content, going over assignments, looking at the feedback so you don't make the same mistakes. Okay, and you're going to watch this TED Talk. And you're going to have to respond to it. Okay, now I'm not going to tell you what the question is, but you're going to have to respond to a question that I put on the exam. So feel free. I know some of you have a sister or brother in the course. I know some of you have friends in the course. Feel free to talk amongst yourselves about the video. Feel free to make connections with that. Whatever you want to do, that's fine. That's why we're giving it to you in advance. I want to see that you're super prepared. Okay, and then when you come in, you just come in and crush the question. So that's going to be for 10 marks, which is equivalent to 10%. Okay, so think about that in the exam. For every question that you lose a mark, you're losing a percent of that 30. So you need to make sure that you totally answer everything fully and completely. So I'm just trying to think what else. When you do write your exam, please make sure that you're double spacing. If you're using pencil, make sure that it's dark enough so I can read it right on only one side of the paper. I'll remind you of these things on exam day. But hopefully you'll feel well prepared, okay? And you'll have another credit, which is pretty awesome considering you still have, as of Friday, you'll still have 5 weeks left of summer. So that's pretty awesome. Okay, so because I know I'm looking forward to the end, okay, and going and doing some traveling and stuff. So again, go to the FAQ, send any questions that you may have, okay, and don't expect an immediate response to those because, you know, I do have a life outside this course. I actually have another job. I have kids. So there's a lot of things that I have to do, but I will answer, and other people have been answering. So just be patient with that. I've probably forgotten something, and it'll probably come to me, and I'll probably tell you something in an email or a news item. But use the FAQ so everybody can benefit from that section. Okay, and I look forward to seeing and meeting all of you on Friday. See ya.